Hello, I'm Kukhyun Kim. The study is about does the real-based provision improve the attention and the social presence in metaverse learning environment? Metaverse is being increasingly used for educational purposes such as conference, class lessons, and vocational experiences. The importance of metaverse as a learning environment is increasingly rapidly along with distance education needs. Metaverse, a compound word of meta in meaning of virtual, and as well the universe meaning of the word is metaverse is a platform that allows the users to interact freely through their avatars in the virtual world of three-dimensional graphics. Metaverse enables the users to participate in a social interaction through their avatars in a virtual world. Various other metaverse platform has been released recently. Metaverse has been scrutinized for a long time for its applicability for educational purposes. In particular, in the field of education, the metaverse is known as 3D Move, multi-user virtual environment, and interest in its utilization is increasing owing to the need for non-contact environment due to the ongoing pandemic. These are examples of meeting metaverse platforms: Verbella, Spatial, Engage, Roblox, and Horizon, and so on. The use of real-time video lecture using Zoom tried to replicate a traditional classroom atmosphere. It facilitates face-to-face interaction through a video camcorder between the multiple users in real time and without spatial movement. However, Zoom fatigue has become a problem since the experience of long-term use has accumulated. Moreover, it created problems such as difficulty in recognizing other gaze continuously or the flat learning experience because of fixed class activities involving no movement. As an alternative to these real-time video lectures, it is also recommended to use metaverse to reduce the flat activity and increase the interaction between learners. And the social presence is important to enhance the interaction in the metaverse learning environment. While the learners communicate and interact with other learners, social presence is a competency for the users to express themselves socially and emotionally in the community or society. Interaction with a high social presence enables the learners to immerse and engage in learning situation. And it shows the possibility of social learning activities in a virtual learning environment. Therefore, social presence could be one of the main factors influencing active learning interaction in the metaverse. Attention is one of the main indicators of the state of learning. The metaverse in learning environment provide audiovisual in the spatial multimodality, but it can distract learners and thereby affecting the outcome of learning. Nevertheless, it has been proven that VR and metaverse are effective in some cases involving high-cost training case or high-risk activities and uncomfortable situations produced or impossible to observe. Thus, it is necessary to design an effective learning environment in the metaverse as distance class using the metaverse are becoming increasingly attractive. In metaverse learning, presenting the instructor's face could be used to enhance the user's facial social presence and increase the learner's concentration. Zero presence during the long meeting could distract the participant. This is because the instructor's facial presentation could enhance its sense of reality. Similarly, the instructor's presence could attract the learner's attention and positively affect the satisfaction. But other studies demonstrated visual social cues like lecturer's face could be offset by extraneous cognitive load. Attention could be visually confirmed through the visual user's gaze. Gaze information include detail of what the user looks at and how much they look. It facilitates examination of user's concentration area, and the gaze information could explain how the user learner's cognitive processing occurs. The average eye fixation time at AOI is the most frequently used method in eye tracking analysis. If the fixation time is under 250 milliseconds, it means there was no attention. If the fixation time is over 300 milliseconds, it means attention occurs. But the over 500 meters means cognitive load occurs or the task is difficult. In this study, the degree of attention of learners' gaze was identified through the face of avatars in instructors and learning materials using eye tracking. In addition, we analyze eye information to explore what learners pay attention to in the metaverse learning environment. This aims to analyze the importance of presenting the instructor's face and how the learner's attention diverted. So the study aims to identify how the presence or absence of a instructor's face affect the learner's social presence and attention. So the research questions are: first one, is there a difference in the learner's social presence depending on whether or not the instructors present their actual face in their metaverse learning environment? And the second question is about the learner's attention. And the question 3 is, when is the learner's attention focused in metaverse learning environment? For this study, we conducted an experiment. 38 participants volunteered to participate in the experiment. They received gratification and were randomly divided into 2 groups. A short lecture was used teaching material in the metaverse learning environment. The content focused on introducing a website about the Korean historical remains and relics. The instructor explained how to use the website and what information the participant could get from it. The short lecture lasted for about 2 minutes, about 17 seconds. The figure 1 presents the rear face group conditions, and figure 2 represents no rear face, that is the avatar only group condition. About variables, the independent variable used was provision of instructor's rear face. Providing a rear face was presumed to introduce attention of their learners. To examine the effect of rear face provision, we gathered the participant eye-related information, attention questionnaire data, as well as social presence questionnaire data. Figure 3 shows the area of interest, AOI, for collecting eye fixation information. And AOI1 is an avatar, AOI2 is learning material, and AOI3 is a rear face. Social presence questionnaires include 10 items with a 7 Likert scale, and the inter-consistency liability was satisfied. And attention questionnaire include 5 items with a 7 Likert scale. And also inter-consistency liability was satisfied. The data was analyzed using SPSS, and for eye fixation time on AOI, attention and social presence were analyzed using MANOVA. These are about result. Table 1 shows the description of independent variables, social presence, attention, and average fixation time. About first research question, there was no difference in learners' social presence, depending on whether or not the instructors presented their actual face. And about second questions, there was no difference in the learner's attention, depending on whether or not the instructor presented their actual face. About last questions, as shown in figure 4, we examined eye tracking information using B-swarm visualization data. While the learners pay attention to the lecture, they tend to focus on the laser pointer of the lecturers. Based on the result, we conducted that first one. This study proved that showing the instructor's real face in the metaverse does not significantly affect the social presence or attention of the learners. Social presence refers to the user's ability to express himself in the community, and whether or not the other person's actual face is confirmed does not affect the user's ability to express himself. Therefore, it shows that real face of the other person in the metaverse has no effect on enhancing the sense of social presence. However, the result of this study was different from the result of previous study that presenting the instructor's face in the learning environment can enhance learners' sense of social presence. The difference from the result of a previous study can be seen in revealing their own face rather than the other's face. In video conferencing, people feel extremely tired from the tension that they reveal their face and that the other can see them. As such fatigue from the video conferencing comes from the revealing themselves in the social situation. Further research is needed to on whether exposing their own person, their own on face, rather than the other face in the metaverse, enhance the sense of social presence. And the second, according to the eye tracking examination, the lecturer pointing is effective to pay the learner's attention to the learning content. We could identify the learner's attention to the laser pointers area in the BIS1 visualization of eye tracking. This result is similar to P 2019's study in it. The instructor's pointer gesture improved the students' learning outcomes. The limitation of this study is that it could not confirm whether showing the instructor's face had any effect on the actual learning outcomes. Therefore, it is necessary to review the cognitive process and a practical learning result for the future study. The implication of this study is first, it was confirmed that presenting the instructor's face in the metaverse learning environment does not increase the learner's social presence or level of concentration. And second, in a metaverse learning environment, presenting instructors clearly on a learning metaverse, such as laser pointers of instructors, can help attract the learner's attention. So I hope that these implications will serve as basis for design a better learning environment in the metaverse.